The energy here in this building over the last few days as the art has been hung and as people have come, and tonight as people start gathering here and around, it's just thrilling. The artists who are here in their studios, who are opening their studios, artists can be an isolating thing. Making art, you can be very quiet and on your own, but you need that interaction with people. You need the audience, but you also need other artists. This is an amazing event to get inspired. So honestly, we're all super excited and giddy all weekend long.
This is actually my third or fourth JCAST, so I'm really happy to be back again. And I've been visiting it since I was a little girl here in Jersey City, so it's cool that I get to be a part of something that I've looked up to for so many years. My work is a mixed media collage project that I use different pieces of paper and magazines, ephemera that were part of my previous work as a graphic designer. I think that the first thing they would notice about these particular pieces is that they're very intricate and detailed. The texture would probably bring people in. I'm trying to reference a little bit of the impressionistic paintings.
I am a mixed media and installation artist, and I love working in fiber and found materials and anything anyone can find for me. And if it's off the street, I will probably pick it up, clean it up, and put it in one of my art pieces. I guess about a year ago, I kept seeing shopping carts in the neighborhood, just abandoned on the side of the street, filled with garbage, people walking past. Every time I would walk past one of the shopping carts, I would see that it was like a weft, a way to weave. It felt like a loom to me. And I kept walking past it. And finally one day I just grabbed one, brought it in the house, cleaned it up. And then there were just materials that I had sitting around, and I just started weaving onto the shopping cart. And when I was done, I pushed the cart away, and something happened for me. It was a tremendous release. And I realized, for me, I was onto something that emotionally, that I can sort of channel the things that I've been going through and moments that I have, and put it somewhere productive, so that it's not eating away in my stomach or in my brain or in my heart. These are the things that weigh heavy on my soul. And when I can push, the act of pushing the cart away, there's a tremendous release for me.
So I'm a multimedia artist, and I would say that my whole thing is all about color and beauty. So I'm a makeup artist by trade, and I create art that is beautiful and colorful. So I like to combine makeup artistry, body paint, photography, and then I also dabble in textile art. This series is my first photography series. Normally I collaborate with a team of people, and this time I did everything myself.
I'm a versatile artist, but mostly people know me for my beadwork because I'm showing that work for a long time now. I do acrylic on canvas, I do oil. When I came to US, I had 2 little children. So one Christmas I bought an art kit for my daughter with beads. And when she was making small birds and flowers with those beads, and I started visualizing different kind of patterns on canvas. And it's about like 2008 when we started it. And since then I'm working with it.
Project Greenville is a small arts venue here in the Greenville section of Jersey City. It's made out of an old garage that is at the back of my own home, and we do art shows a few times a year, generally group art shows, so that we can get as many participants to sort of, help us promote. And we coincide it with the JC Fridays as well as the JCAST. We have been doing this for 10 years, and I think we did take off 1 or 2 of them, so this is probably our 8th JCAST. The theme this time around for the JCAST, as well as our previous September JC Friday, is called It's a Family Affair, and the idea is to sort of explore how people in the same family are sometimes creative but in very different ways, and then other times they're collaborators, and then other times family just acts as an inspiration to certain artists.
Hi, my name's Eileen Ferrara, and I'm the curator for this exhibit at NJCU Galleries called Too Much Overconsumption and Our Relationship to Stuff. So far, the reception has been great. People who have come through the show really have had positive things to say, and also I think it helps raise awareness, and people are interested maybe in ways they can learn more about things they can do to change the system we have.
My artwork is an installation made from plastic bottle. Yeah, from like 300 plastic bottle that I collect from like 3 or 4 years. The part of plastic bottle is, they have like 5 parts of the artwork. One is in front, is made from the middle part. And then you see the one on the ceiling is made from the top part of the bottle. Yeah, the build look like a city theme. You can see this one look like landscape of the building, and then go behind is the tower. I try to make people realize that how many household trash that we generate in the household.
This piece I'm standing in front of is called Gaia Calls Us to Healing. This particular piece was done during the pandemic. Friends of mine contributed milk cartons, 365 milk cartons, one for every day of 2020. Many of the emotions that I felt were not so positive. So this piece was my effort to feel the health and wealth of nature and its healing properties.
These works are all from recycled materials, basically like plastic bottles, liquor bottles that are collected on the streets. They're also combined with organic material collected from nature. There's some reed material. All the sculptures are based on the architecture of nature, and the goal or the trick is to try to take the inorganic and turn it into something that's organic.
Pretty much all of the work in this exhibit is handmade paper, and I made a lot of it during the pandemic, actually. So the entire show is sort of thinking through environmental concerns in the oceans and in global bodies of water. And this particular piece is thinking about this sort of new term that's called the plastosphere. So the plastosphere is this idea of a floating garbage ecosystem in the ocean. And this particular piece was my way of thinking through that idea. So it's sort of meant to be simultaneously sort of like netting and sort of like biomorphic, right? So a little bit man-made, a little bit abstract, a little bit animal.
So we are on Mana Contemporary in Jersey City, and this is the first time I'm participating in JCAST. The main reason I focus on the heart, because as an immigrant, for me, it was a whole transformational process, and in some way I found that the heart was the perfect symbol to record the transformation I went through those years. Sometimes it's hard when you decide to go to another place to follow your dreams, and you find yourself in the middle of many challenges, because of the language, because of the different culture and many other things, and because of course you are far from family. But it's been a very interesting process, because I feel like I find myself, and that's why you can see many type of hearts, and I explore different materials, because I feel like that's the variety of things that we go through, and that's how our heart or identity kind of change and reshape into a new identity, and that's how I feel as an immigrant. The way I work with my art is I tend to work in different series. Most of the work that you see in the studio were developed in different stages of my life. The series that is made with the black work, with the black and white lines and the thread. It was developed during the pandemic when we were at home.
My work is full of symbolism. It's a mix between reality and dream. I do a lot of scenes from stories that I've heard people tell. I always say that I'm a storyteller, but I use painting to tell those stories. And yeah, they vary from political stories to memory, love, heartbreak. Sometimes most of my paintings I do very intuitively, and I let go. It's a process of letting go completely with mind, thought, and I just go with the flow. And at the end, I try to make sense of the painting, and I discovered a lot of things after a thought process. But I discover more when people come and they talk about it and they see, because we all have stories, and sometimes they reflect on the paintings that I do.
I think I have the work of 5 different artists. I'm very eclectic. I kind of work off of emotion and environment. I don't necessarily stick to a style. Everything is based on environments I've been in, and I've been lucky to travel a lot and live several places, so I kind of just feed off emotions and environments that I've been in. So, and I think the color of a lot of the pieces also has to do with places I've been.
I like to do sculpture, I like to do print and drawing and painting, all of it. I like to use lines and strokes because I believe that that's the basic form of art. When you put together so many lines, it will create the form. So the very basic form is lines. That's why I use a lot of strokes, even though I use different medium, and every medium look different. If I do it on the computer, they will more straight and clean lines. But if I do a freehand, they are kind of crooked, kind of shaky lines, but base form is stroke.